Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the dim sum culture and the history behind it. There's a lot of information I have to share with you, so without further ado, let's get into it. Hi new friends, this is Erica right here. I'm a Taiwanese citizen currently living in America. Cooking and traveling is my passion, so I'm here to share with you my favorite Asian recipes. On top of that, all my videos cover a little food knowledge or the history background of the dish, as well as a Chinese lesson at the end of the video. So if that interests you, please subscribe and keep watching. When you think about Hong Kong, politics aside, what type of food do you think about first? I bet most people answer is dim sum. If you don't speak Chinese, this might not bother you, but in Chinese, dim sum actually means dessert, like sweet dessert. But if you have dim sum before, you will know that dim sum is as far away as dessert as it could be. So how did this happen? To understand it, we'll have to start with some history lessons right here. Tea tasting has always been a big part of Chinese culture. And it is a little bit different than the British tea time because we drink it almost 24/7. There are tea houses all over China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. They sell not just loose tea, also the tea set and every essential that you'll need for tea tasting. Nowadays, these places are not just serving tea, but also some snack, dessert, or sometimes food as well. Just like a normal restaurant. The elderly like to get up really early and gather at the tea house to drink some tea and talk about the past. Lunchtime and the afternoon, these tea houses have become a resting place for the tourists, and obviously during the dining hour, these places are filled with diners. Some tea houses even open till late night, so the local night owl will have a place to go. Back in around 1930s, when Hong Kong was still owned by the UK, Hong Kong, Macau, and Guangzhou had frequent maritime exchanges. So some local businessmen started to see the opportunity of this phenomenon, so some tea stands started popping up around the area to sell tea to the travelers. Back then, these tea stands are not selling anything fancy, but just some simple tea water to meet the basic need of these newcomers. Over time, these tea stands started to make money, so they evolved into an indoor tea house. A lot of them have different floors, so the downstairs will be selling the cheaper tea water to the travelers, and the second floor or third floor will sell more of a high-end tea to meet the different type of customers. Years later, these tea houses started to serve some snacks and dessert with their tea service, and this is the origin of the dim sum house. The reason why the tea house started to sell food is very simple. Just like how coffee shops are starting to sell cake, is due to the market needs. To dine in a dim sum place, the first thing you do is to choose your tea. And after that, you can start to enjoy the food from the steamed dining cart. If you've been to an authentic dim sum house before, you've definitely seen those steam cars walking around the aisle. Back in the day, the person that's pushing around the steam cart is actually being called a salesman. They will approach the table and ask you if you would like some dessert from their cart and charge you at the site. The early version of these steam carts is actually the salesman hanging a big flat plate in front of their chest, just like the hot dog man in the stadium nowadays. The plate will be filled with snack and they will be chanting the name of the dim sum as they walk to attract customers. Over time, the tea stand turned into the indoor restaurant, so all these flat plates evolved into the dining carts. The customer can greet the salesman or choose their dim sum by taking it out from the steamer right away, so there's no waiting time for their food. Nowadays, the dim sum is not just sweet dessert anymore, but they have salty food, steamed, boiled, fried, grilled, etc. And a variety of Hong Kong-style tea drinking snacks have officially been named dim sum. One of the reasons I like dim sum a lot is because it's just like the Spanish tapas. The portion of dim sum are normally served very small, so there's a variety of things that you can taste at the same time. During the 30s, the poor and rich are still very separated, so the consuming ability varied by class. So the dim sum place started to evolve and started to charge different pricing for different timing of the day as well. The morning, lunch, and evening market are priced different, and for food, it also divided into small, medium, and large cuisine. The morning tea are the cheapest because it was targeting the elderly and also the traveler that come into the port in the morning for work. And the commonly known dim sum dishes are actually the small cuisine that only been served in the morning time. So if you notice that some of the dim sum places in the city only open till 3 to 4 o'clock, This is the reason why. Because it's supposed to be breakfast, or we'll say brunch. Dinner time are the most expensive time slot of the day, so the big cuisine will only be served at this time as well. But since Hong Kong economics has grown, most people are able to afford the price tag anyways, so this time slot charging system has kind of disappeared with the history. Like I mentioned earlier, the dim sum house was actually originated from the tea house. So what the tea house sells? Tea, of course. You will choose the type of tea you want for the table, and it will be served in a big pot in the center of the table. And when you sit down, you will see like in front of you there will be plates, chopsticks, and also the teacup. The way they charge for these tea service is by head. So each person in the party will be charged for a set fee. The fee will normally be written on the corner of the menu with very small character. Even though you're not drinking, you'll still be charged. For example, if on the menu it says $2 per person for the tea serving and you have 8 people on the table, even though nobody drinks, you will still see a $16 charge on your check at the end of the dining. If you ever go to a dim sum restaurant and you've been served tea right away, don't assume that's free, you're probably being charged. So read your menu or ask your server before you drink it. But if the server tells you the tea serving fee is charged essential, you'll kind of have to understand that this is actually a part of our culture and history. Nobody's trying to scam you or anything, but it's just a different understanding. I know when you walk into a place and being charged for something you didn't ask for, it's very annoying. But at the same time, and when a Hong Kongese person walks into a Hong Kong restaurant and didn't experience the culture that is supposed to experience, it will annoy them as well. So the tip right here is to make sure you ask for the servers or read the menu before you drink the tea in front of you. And if none of the people in your party are drinking tea, maybe you can ask the servers to not serve tea for the whole table at all. That might be an option as well in the West. And if you like the information I gave you right here, please give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Tea drinking culture is not as commonly seen in the Western country like Asia, so I figured ordering tea first in a lot of restaurants become non-essential here in the US. Even though the dim sum restaurants are super popular in Asia, but in the West, the dim sum needs are not as common as back home. Just by selling the small portion of dim sum, sometimes are not generating enough money for the restaurant to survive in the West. So a lot of dim sum restaurants nowadays in the Western country are serving with other different Hong Kong cuisine in the same restaurant. And some dim sum restaurant, you're probably not even gonna see the steam card just because there's not enough need. So putting all the cooked food in the steam card waiting to be purchased doesn't really make sense anymore. But anyways, I hope this video are helping you to understand the dim sum culture a little bit better. I make a video like this every Thursday, so remember to hit that bell, you'll never miss out. Next week, I'll be teaching you how to make a napa cabbage casserole that you can see in a dim sum restaurant that is super tasty and creamy. So don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye! The word of the day today is 港式点心. The first two characters is 港式, the Hong Kongese style. And the last two words is 点心, which means dessert. So when you put Hong Kong dessert together, that is dim sum. 港式点心.